Welcome back to Manzoor's EVS tutorial. Today our topic is productivity of an ecosystem. See here, producers, consumers, decomposers, they are essential component of an ecosystem. And what these producers, consumers and decomposers do, they accumulate organic matter over course of time. Productivity of an ecosystem, it tells us the amount of organic matter accumulated at different trophic levels per unit area, per unit time. So it tells us how much amount of organic matter is accumulated in an ecosystem, in some particular ecosystem at some period of time. So there are two important things, area and time. So energy, so it is organic matter accumulation per unit area, per unit time at different trophic levels. So it is sum total of organic matter produced by producers, or rather accumulated by producers, consumers and decomposers at different trophic levels of the food chain. Now this productivity, it is of three types: primary productivity, secondary productivity and net productivity. First, this primary productivity, it is at producer level. So it will be telling us about the energy accumulation or organic matter accumulation or production at producer level. This primary productivity, it tells us mostly that plants, they are converting this solar energy into chemical energy or biomass. Primary productivity tells us about the rate at which radiant energy is being converted into chemical energy or biomass in some particular area. So it tells us about rate at which solar energy or radiant energy is converted into chemical energy. So it will tell us about rate at which radiant energy is converted into chemical energy or biomass. By the producers. So primary productivity, first thing, it is at producer level, and it tells us about the rate at which radiant energy is being converted into chemical energy or biomass at producer level per unit area. But this primary productivity, it is of two types: gross primary productivity and net primary productivity. This gross primary productivity, it is total accumulation of organic matter, including the amount which is used up in the process of respiration. So it is total organic matter accumulation. Total organic matter accumulation. It is total organic matter accumulation, including the amount used up in the process of respiration. So this gross primary productivity, it tells us about the total amount of organic matter that is being accumulated by the process of photosynthesis, including the amount which would be used in respiration. This type of primary productivity is net primary productivity. What we do in net primary productivity, we are removing the amount used up in the process of respiration. So we can say net primary productivity is amount of organic matter produced by the producers, excluding the amount used up in the process of respiration. So here what we are doing, we are excluding the amount used up, we are excluding the amount of energy or organic matter matter used up in the process of respiration. In the process of respiration. Or we can say this net primary productivity is gross primary productivity minus respiration. Net primary productivity is gross primary productivity minus R. R is energy. It is not respiration, it is energy used up in the process of respiration. Energy burned down in the process of respiration. Now this second is secondary productivity. This secondary productivity, it is at consumer level. It is at consumer level. Consumer level. So the secondary productivity, it will tell us about the amount of organic matter accumulated at consumer level. The consumers which are present in an ecosystem, how much of energy would be accumulated by these consumers. So secondary productivity is amount of energy or organic matter accumulated by consumers per unit area per unit time. So energy accumulation at consumers. What happens in consumers, assimilation occurs. When we take in food, this food is converted into our tissues. So the secondary productivity is also called assimilation. Some ecologists prefer to call secondary productivity as assimilation, because here assimilation occurs. Here we are taking in the food, and this food is being converted into our tissues, or we can say this food is being converted into organic matter. This conversion of food into tissues is called assimilation. So secondary productivity is also called assimilation. Now net productivity. Net productivity is amount of organic matter which is left over by the heterotrophs. See, there are present in every ecosystem, there are present consumers. They eat up this, they eat up the producers. What they eat actually is net primary productivity. They eat this very thing, net NPP. And in net productivity, what? Some amount of organic matter, which is not the amount of organic matter which is not eaten up by these consumers, which is left over there, is net productivity. So net productivity is amount of organic matter which is not eaten by heterotrophs or consumers. So it is left over of organic matter of heterotrophs, or we can say it is amount of organic matter which is not eaten up by heterotrophs or consumers. Net productivity. This gross primary productivity, it is also called total photosynthesis or total assimilation. And this net primary productivity, it is also called apparent photosynthesis or apparent assimilation. So gross primary productivity, it is also called total photosynthesis or total assimilation. And this net primary productivity, it is also called apparent photosynthesis or apparent assimilation. Thank you.